Life had always been a series of predictable patterns for me. My name is Alex, and for the longest time, I believed in the sanctity of marriage, the strength of commitment, and the unwavering bond of love. Melissa, my wife, was the epitome of beauty and grace. She was not only stunning, but also an exceptional cook, and our sex life was nothing short of fantastic. To an outsider, our life might have seemed like a fairy tale. We met during our college years. I was majoring in business administration, while she was an art major with a minor in culinary arts. From the moment we met, I was captivated by her charm and elegance. She had a way of making every moment feel special, and her culinary skills only added to her allure. We got married soon after graduation, and life seemed perfect. I landed a job at a prestigious financial firm, and Melissa started her own catering business. We bought a beautiful house in a quiet suburb, and everything seemed to fall into place effortlessly. We were that couple that everyone envied, young, successful, and deeply in love. However, as years went by, I began to notice subtle changes in Melissa. She started coming home late, citing her growing business as the reason. While I was proud of her success, something felt off. Our conversations became shorter, and she seemed distant, often engrossed in her phone or lost in thought. I tried to brush off these feelings as paranoia, but the nagging suspicion lingered. One evening, as I sat in our living room waiting for her to return, I found myself consumed by doubt. She had been acting increasingly aloof, and our once passionate nights had become rare. I decided to confront her, hoping it was just a phase. "Melissa, we need to talk," I said as she walked through the door. She looked at me with a hint of annoyance. "Can it wait, Alex? I'm exhausted." "No, it can't. You've been distant lately, and I need to know what's going on." She sighed and sat down. "It's just work, Alex. The business is growing, and it's taking a lot out of me." I nodded, trying to believe her, but deep down, I felt there was more to it. The late nights, the hushed phone calls, and the sudden disinterest in our life together couldn't be solely attributed to work. My suspicions continued to grow, and I decided to investigate. It wasn't a decision I took lightly, but I needed to know the truth. I started by going through her phone when she was in the shower. I found messages from a man named Jason. They were casual at first, but as I scrolled further back, the nature of the messages changed. Flirty texts, late-night calls, and even plans to meet up. My heart sank. The evidence was right there, staring at me in black and white. Melissa was cheating on me. Instead of confronting her immediately, I decided to gather more evidence. I needed to be sure before I took any drastic steps. Over the next few weeks, I started following her. I knew it was wrong, but my need for the truth overpowered my guilt. I followed her to restaurants, hotels, and even to Jason's house. Each time, my suspicions were confirmed. They were having an affair. Armed with undeniable evidence, I decided it was time to confront Melissa. I chose a quiet evening when we were both at home. "Melissa, we need to talk," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. She looked up from her phone, sensing the seriousness in my tone. "What's wrong, Alex?" "I know about Jason," I said, holding up my phone with the incriminating messages displayed. Her face turned pale, and she stared at the phone in disbelief. I can explain," she stammered. "Explain? You've been lying to me, cheating on me, and now you want to explain?" My voice was rising, anger bubbling to the surface. She broke down, tears streaming down her face. "I'm sorry, Alex. I never meant for it to go this far. It just happened. It just happened! That's your excuse!" I shouted. "You've betrayed our marriage, everything we built together!" After the confrontation, I couldn't bring myself to sleep in the same bed as her. I moved to the guest room, my mind racing with thoughts of betrayal and revenge. Sleep eluded me as memories of our life together played like a broken record in my head. Each happy moment was now tainted by the knowledge of her deceit. Around midnight, I heard Melissa moving around the house. She knocked softly on the guest room door. "Alex, can we talk, please?" I opened the door slightly, keeping my distance. "What is there to talk about, Melissa?" She looked desperate, her eyes puffy from crying. "I know I messed up. I don't want to lose you. We can work through this." "Work through this? You think we can just work through infidelity?" I couldn't hide the sarcasm in my voice. "I'm not sure that's possible." "We can go to counseling, do whatever it takes. I don't want to lose you," she pleaded. Dear viewers, More than 90% watch my content without subscribing. If you still have not subscribed, then I ask you to do so. For me, this is the best motivation to continue. I shook my head, closing the door on her tearful face. I need time to think, Melissa. Just leave me alone for now. The next morning, I woke up feeling drained. I knew I had to take action. I couldn't let Melissa's betrayal destroy me. I started by consulting a lawyer. I needed to understand my options and how to protect myself financially. Melissa and I had a joint bank account, and I didn't want her to drain it. The lawyer advised me to gather all financial records and secure my assets. It was sound advice, and I wasted no time in following it. Next, I began to formulate a plan. It wasn't enough to just end the marriage. I wanted to make sure Melissa understood the gravity of her betrayal. I transferred our joint savings into a separate account, leaving only a minimal amount for household expenses. I also canceled all joint credit cards and changed the passwords to our online banking accounts. But that wasn't enough. I wanted to hit her where it hurt the most, her materialistic desires. I started giving away her designer clothes, shoes, and handbags to charity. It was petty, but it felt cathartic. I wanted her to feel the loss, to understand that her actions had consequences. With everything in place, I filed for divorce. I handed Melissa the papers one evening, watching as her face crumbled when she realized what was happening. "You're really doing this?" she asked, tears welling up in her eyes. "You brought this on yourself, Melissa," I replied coldly. "You chose material possessions over our marriage. Now, you can have all the material things you want, but without me." The divorce process was long and grueling. We fought over everything: the house, the cars, the business. Melissa's true nature emerged during these negotiations. She became vindictive, trying to take everything she could. But my lawyer was sharp, and I managed to keep most of my assets intact. During this period, I went through a phase of heavy drinking. It was my way of coping with the pain and betrayal. I would come home from work, pour myself a drink, and lose myself in alcohol. It wasn't healthy, and I knew it, but it was the only way I could numb the pain. There were nights when I hit rock bottom, the loneliness and despair consuming me. I'd stare at old photos of us, wondering how things had gone so wrong. The friends who once envied our life now pitied me. My parents were my pillars of strength during this time. They listened to my rants, offered their wisdom, and reminded me that life had to go on. One evening, as I sat with a bottle of whiskey, my father called. "Alex, you need to stop this. You're better than this. She doesn't deserve to have this power over you." His words struck a chord. I knew he was right. I had let Melissa's actions define my life for too long. It was time to reclaim my life and start anew. After the divorce was finalized, I felt a strange mix of relief and sadness. Melissa was no longer a part of my life, but the scars of her betrayal remained. I decided to focus on rebuilding my life. I quit drinking, joined a gym, and started seeing a therapist. It was a slow process, but I knew I needed to heal. I also reconnected with old friends and family. Their support was invaluable during this time. They listened to my story, offered advice, and helped me regain my confidence. My parents were especially supportive, reminding me that I deserved better than a woman who valued material possessions over love and commitment. As time went on, I started to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I immersed myself in my work, taking on new projects and responsibilities. It was a welcome distraction, and it helped me regain my sense of purpose. I also started traveling, something Melissa had never been interested in. Exploring new places and meeting new people was exhilarating, and it helped me rediscover my passion for life. During one of my trips, I met someone. Her name was Emily, and she was everything Melissa wasn't. She was kind, down to earth, and had a genuine interest in people. We started dating, and for the first time in a long time, I felt hopeful about the future. Dear viewers, I ask you to subscribe to the channel under this video. I will be very grateful to you. Emily and I took things slow, building our relationship on a foundation of trust and honesty. We had long conversations about our values, our dreams, and our fears. It was refreshing to be with someone who valued me for who I was, not for what I could provide. One evening, we sat on the porch of a cozy cabin in the mountains, watching the sunset. "Alex, I know you've been through a lot," Emily said, holding my hand, "but I'm here for you, and I want us to build something beautiful together." Her words were a balm to my wounded soul. I knew I had found someone special, someone who truly understood me. Despite my efforts to move on, Melissa occasionally tried to reach out, expressing moments of regret. She would send messages or call, hoping to rekindle something that was long dead. "I'm sorry for everything, Alex," she said during one such call. "I was wrong, and I see that now. Can we at least be friends?" "Melissa, it's too late for that," I replied. "I've moved on, and I suggest you do the same." Her arrogance and hypocrisy were too much to bear, and I had no desire to revisit that chapter of my life. Instead, I focused on building a future with Emily. We traveled together, shared our passions, and supported each other through life's ups and downs. I found joy in the simple things: cooking dinner together, hiking through nature, and planning our future. I also continued to work on myself, attending therapy sessions and reflecting on my past mistakes. I learned to forgive myself for ignoring the red flags in my marriage with Melissa. It was a painful lesson, but it made me stronger. One of the most important lessons I learned was the importance of trust. In my relationship with Emily, we made it a point to communicate openly and honestly. We shared our thoughts and feelings, no matter how difficult the conversation might be. "Trust is the foundation of any strong relationship," Emily once said. "Without it, everything falls apart." She was right. Trust was something Melissa had shattered, but it was something I was determined to rebuild with Emily. As Emily and I continued our journey together, we faced challenges, but we faced them as a team. Whether it was dealing with work stress or personal struggles, we supported each other every step of the way. Our bond grew stronger with each passing day. One evening, as we sat by a campfire under a starlit sky, Emily turned to me. "Alex, I love you. I'm grateful for every moment we share." "I love you too, Emily," I replied. "You've given me a second chance at happiness." Through my journey with Emily, I also reconnected with myself. I rediscovered hobbies and interests that I'd neglected during my marriage with Melissa. I started painting again, something I hadn't done since college. It was therapeutic, allowing me to express my emotions in a creative way. Emily encouraged me to pursue my passions, and she even joined me in some of my hobbies. We painted together, cooked together, and explored the world together. It was a partnership built on mutual respect and love. Looking back on my marriage with Melissa, I realized I had ignored several red flags. Her obsession with material possessions, her increasing detachment, and her blatant disregard for our relationship were all signs that I had chosen the wrong partner. But hindsight is always 20/20. I learned valuable lessons from my experience. I learned the importance of communication, trust, and mutual respect in a relationship. I also learned to trust my instincts and not ignore the signs of trouble. Most importantly, I learned that my worth wasn't tied to another person's actions. Melissa's betrayal didn't define me. It was just a painful chapter in my life. As Emily and I planned our future together, I felt a sense of optimism and hope that I hadn't felt in years. We talked about our dreams, our goals, and the life we wanted to build together. It was a stark contrast to the materialistic life I had with Melissa. Emily's genuine love and support helped me heal. She was my rock, my confidant, and my partner in every sense of the word. Together, we faced the future with confidence and determination. One day, I received an unexpected letter from Melissa. She wrote about her regrets, her mistakes, and her desire for forgiveness. It was a heartfelt letter, but it came too late. I read the letter carefully, reflecting on our past. While I appreciated her honesty, I knew I couldn't let her back into my life. I had moved on, and so had she. I wrote a short reply, wishing her well, but making it clear that our paths had diverged for good. It was the closure I needed, a final goodbye to a chapter of my life that had been both beautiful and painful. With Melissa firmly in the past, I embraced the present and the future with Emily. We continued to build our life together, cherishing each moment and looking forward to the adventures ahead. One evening, as we watched the sunset from our favorite spot, Emily turned to me. "Alex, I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for being my partner in this journey." I smiled, feeling a sense of peace and contentment. "And I'm grateful for you, Emily. Here's to a future filled with love and happiness." As the years passed, I found myself in a place of stability and joy. The pain of Melissa's betrayal had faded, replaced by the love and happiness I found with Emily. We continued to explore the world, build our home, and support each other through life's challenges. Reflecting on my journey, I realized that every experience, no matter how painful, had shaped me into the person I was today. I was stronger, wiser, and more resilient. And most importantly, I had found a partner who truly understood and valued me. Through my experiences, I learned valuable lessons about love, trust, and resilience. I learned the importance of choosing a life partner carefully, of recognizing red flags, and of valuing myself. These lessons were hard-earned, but they made me a better person. As I continued my journey with Emily, I carried these lessons with me, determined to build a life based on mutual respect, trust, and love. Together, we faced the future with optimism and hope, ready to embrace whatever came our way. One of the most important lessons I learned was the power of forgiveness, not just forgiving others, but also forgiving myself. I forgave Melissa for her betrayal, understanding that holding on to anger and resentment would only hurt me. I forgave myself for the mistakes I made, for ignoring the signs, and for allowing myself to be hurt. Forgiveness was a powerful tool in my healing process. It allowed me to let go of the past and focus on the present and the future. It was a lesson I carried with me, a reminder that healing and growth come from within. As Emily and I continued our journey together, we found joy in the simple things: a walk in the park, a shared meal, a quiet evening at home. These moments of happiness were a stark contrast to the turbulent times I had faced during my marriage with Melissa. I learned to appreciate these moments, to find joy in the everyday, and to cherish the love and support I had with Emily. It was a lesson in gratitude, a reminder that true happiness comes from within. As I looked forward to the future with Emily, I felt a sense of excitement and anticipation. We had plans, dreams, and goals that we were determined to achieve together. It was a new chapter in my life, one filled with hope and promise. Together, we faced the world with confidence, ready to embrace whatever came our way. It was a journey of love, trust, and mutual respect, and I was grateful for every moment. Looking back on my journey, I realized how far I had come. From the pain and betrayal of my marriage with Melissa to the love and happiness I found with Emily, it had been a journey of growth and self-discovery. I learned valuable lessons about love, trust, and resilience. I learned the importance of choosing a life partner carefully, of recognizing red flags, and of valuing myself. These lessons were hard-earned, but they made me a better person. As the years went by, Emily and I continued to build our life together. We faced challenges, celebrated successes, and supported each other through it all. It was a partnership built on mutual respect, trust, and love. Reflecting on my journey, I felt a sense of fulfillment and gratitude. I had found a partner who truly understood and valued me, and together we built a life filled with love and happiness. Looking forward to the future, I felt a sense of optimism and hope. Emily and I had plans, dreams, and goals that we were determined to achieve together. It was a new chapter in my life, one filled with promise and possibility. Together, we faced the world with confidence, ready to embrace whatever came our way. It was a journey of love, trust, and mutual respect, and I was grateful for every moment. As I thought about the legacy I wanted to leave behind, I realized it wasn't about material possessions or achievements. It was about the love and relationships I had built, the lessons I had learned, and the person I had become. I wanted to be remembered as someone who valued love, trust, and mutual respect. Someone who learned from their mistakes, grew from their experiences, and built a life filled with happiness and fulfillment. As I sat with Emily, reflecting on our journey together, I felt a sense of contentment and peace. We had faced challenges, overcome obstacles, and built a life filled with love and happiness. It was a journey of growth and self-discovery, a testament to the power of love and resilience. And as we looked forward to the future, I knew that whatever came our way, we would face it together. With each passing day, Emily and I continued to build our life together. We faced new challenges, celebrated new successes, and supported each other through it all. It was a partnership built on mutual respect, trust, and love. As we looked forward to the future, we felt a sense of excitement and anticipation. We had plans, dreams, and goals that we were determined to achieve together. It was a new chapter in our journey, one filled with promise and possibility. In the years that followed, Emily and I continued to nurture our relationship. We learned to communicate better, to understand each other's needs, and to support each other through life's ups and downs. Our love grew stronger with each passing day. Reflecting on my journey, I realized how far I had come. From the pain and betrayal of my marriage with Melissa to the love and happiness I found with Emily, it had been a journey of growth and self-discovery. As I sat with Emily, looking out at the sunset, I felt a sense of fulfillment and gratitude. We had built a life filled with love and happiness, and I was grateful for every moment. It was a journey of growth and self-discovery, a testament to the power of love and resilience. And as we looked forward to the future, I knew that whatever came our way, we would face it together. The end.